Alright, welcome everyone to the Ishake podcast. This is officially the first episode that we shall be releasing.
Yep, and I'm not going to cut any of that first part. It's all going to be in. I think it's great.
Alright, well, that's just first introductions then. If you don't know us, you're just going to start with,
Figuring it out.
No, you're just going to start with Jason's face, all up in your business. Unless you, watched later videos and came back to us. So, if you are, thank you very much, and welcome to our very first podcast episode.
If on the off chance on this first video you don't know who we are, and you're not a friend that watches, I'm Jason.
My name is Peyton, and we are, and we're Ishake, as of right now. So we can do basically a little explaining. What is Ishake, Jason? What is Ishake?
Ishake is the company we want to start, that I guess we're starting right now, since we were in 3rd grade or 5th grade or early years. His favorite animal was fish. I was the snake guy, and so we just combined the words and kind of just turned into a thing that is now turned into an even bigger thing because we are in Australia.
Yeah.
Both places.
Officially in Cairns, Australia. If you're an American, that is called Cairns. But yeah, it's actually pronounced Cairns. Mm-hmm. We've been here for officially a week today.
Yeah. It's been a good week.
Oh yeah, it's been an amazing week. I've absolutely fallen in love with this place. But before, we were both born and raised in Denver, Colorado. Well, he was born somewhere else.
I was wondering if you would fix that.
Where were you born, Jason?
Minnesota. Yeah.
How long were you there?
2 years.
So he was born and raised in Denver, Colorado. So has absolutely no memories of that place, and has a very weird faithfulness to it. Like, he's a Vikings fan to a fault.
Skull.
Jesus. But yeah, you're not gonna find any of that betrayal with me. Yeah, born and raised, never been anywhere else. Did a little bit of traveling, but yeah, not much else to me. Yeah, horrible neighborhoods for the both of us. Park Hill and Whittier, very, very rough places for us to be.
Well, we turned out okay.
Yeah.
It's so awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. This will improve. We've done this a couple times, but it just, I don't know. It's going to be a
while.
Learning curve.
Until we get used to this, so bear with us. As you can probably see from the intro of Jason shoving his, the GoPro up his nose. Yes, we are filming this on a GoPro, so
yeah.
We're still getting better, and
If you want to sponsor us.
If you want to sponsor Nike, Adidas, Foot Locker, or I don't know why I just named all foot brands, but
when we were talking about cameras.
So yeah, we're getting better with this, so deal with us, as we are also learning.
Yeah.
They're probably not learning. They probably watched hundreds of podcasts before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We're like the 3 kids on that couch in that one video. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'll show you after. It's hilarious. And we're on a couch.
It's great. Yeah.
He doesn't get it. Maybe you guys will, but...
Totally threw me off. So yeah, born and raised in Denver, Colorado. Went to the same school. He came when he was in...
2nd grade.
2nd grade. DSST, Cole Life and Science Academy. Yeah. Stupid school. Hated it. So glad I'm out of there.
Yep.
But, teachers were okay. We were a menace. Got out of there, graduated in 2021.
I always forget what year we graduated. I have to do the math.
That's bad.
I don't know if it's 2020 or 2021.
Yeah, it's 2021.
Yeah, okay, good. I'll remember it now.
So yeah, that was fresh out of COVID. So, we didn't have like a prom or... Well, we did. But it was in the Botanical Gardens, and it lasted a whole of 20 minutes, so got suited up and everything for absolutely nothing. So, yeah, went through COVID during high school. That was awful. Hate COVID. Took away almost all of my high school experience, which, we know.
The senior year after COVID was done. And that time when we were going back to school 2 days a week or 3 days a week, that was fun. That was my favorite memories of high school.
Yeah, but then there was still social distancing. Like there was still masks, and there was still online schooling to where you could jack off and do absolutely whatever you wanted. So it was a problem.
I learned nothing in the last 2 years of high school. Photo math and math way were my best friends.
Yeah.
And math teacher hated it.
I think every teacher hated it. Every teacher hated their job. I don't know how any of them are still working.
No.
Because there are just so many ways around schooling now.
Yeah. And we found a way around it. And I would argue it's the best way, moving to a completely different continent and country and starting fresh.
Yeah.
With crazy animals.
So yeah, graduated in 2021. Then we went to, I got accepted to my dream college. Jason decided to follow me.
I didn't decide to follow you. Okay, it was always the plan.
But you didn't want to. You didn't.
I was very hesitant.
Yeah, you didn't desire it.
And it ended up being the best place ever to me.
Yeah, to him. So, spoilers, but it was Hawaii. We went to the Big Island, Hawaii. If you don't know, there's 7 islands. Still don't know if I can name all 7, but
nope.
You stayed there for a year and a half.
Don't quiz me.
Jesus. Okay. Well.
I know Hilo and Kona and.
I'm talking about islands, you dip. All right. Well. So yeah, we went there for a year, but it was still COVID college, so there was still online classes. I think I had like 1 in-person class for both semesters that we were there.
And it is hard going from all online classes to being in a classroom. That was a hard part for me. I wanted to be in a classroom until I got in a classroom, and I was just lost.
Yeah, seriously, that's true. I forgot about that struggle. Yeah, it was just so undesirable, and unbelievably boring. And so yeah, long story short, we both flunked both semesters very badly, and then we just didn't want to spend another 4 years there because I barely got a credit to my name. I think Jason did a tiny bit better, but maybe like a whole 3 or 4 credits better.
I had a good first semester, an okay first semester. I passed with C's, and then the second semester was awful.
I don't think I gained a single credit from college. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't think I passed a single class both semesters I was there. Like that's how bad it was. Obviously, when we don't want to be somewhere, we get out of there. Same with Denver. Same with Hilo. Yep. So dropped out, then made a plan. First we were going to go to South Africa and, live there for a while because South Africa's just gorgeous, and we were planning Cape Town and stuff like that, but it's ridiculously hard if you don't know to get a job over there.
If you're not from there.
Yeah, if you're not from there or not a citizen. You don't have a
special skill or a degree.
Yeah, so that didn't work out. And then we just said, screw it, we'll just go to our dream place. Originally, we planned this whole little trip around the world. We'll go hit like all of our favorite spots, the places with the best reef, the biggest of reptiles, just go from there. But yeah, Cape Town just didn't work. And then we just decided to skip to the very end of our plan, which was Australia. Because this has always been a place where it's got the Great Barrier Reef, it's got
so many different reptiles. It's just a hot spot for both of our interests.
Mm-hmm.
And so we made it out here. And
yes, we did.
I think it was the right move based on being here just a week.
I think so as well. I mean, I think we thought the same thing for Hilo, but our interests were so much more diluted and narrow.
Mm-hmm.
That the only thing that we could do in Hilo was finish school.
Yeah.
It was other than that, he was working at Tea Presso, which is a little barista shop, and I was working as a Domino's delivery driver. So it was mind-numbing. It was horrible. I didn't like it, but so then I left. Jason stayed there for an extra 6 months.
You left in March and I left in December, so it was... No, you left in April.
Yeah.
That's the 4th month.
So yeah, however many months that is, if you're smart, you know how many months
8 months.
That is.
8 months.
Whatever.
Say an extra 8 months.
So yeah, because he loved it a lot more. He made a lot more friends. I just couldn't find that many friends. So yeah, enough about that was undesirable for me, so I left, went back home, saved up. Or no, I actually went out to Honduras because for my spring break trip, we went out to Utila, Honduras for a little dive trip that we've been waiting for 2.5 years since before COVID, because that got all shot back. And then I went out there. My dad found out about the College of Diving and BICD and the whole lodge and stuff like that. And yeah, went back to Hilo for like a month, packed up everything I had, flew back to Denver for 2 days, dropped everything else off, and then flew back out to Utila, and then spent 3 months there. I did the Whale Shark Oceanic Research Center opportunity, and then I became a dive master, and then I became scuba instructor. So that was like the funnest 3 months of my life, which was a big transition from one of the worst years of my life, at least mentally, you know. I had some rough childhood moments, but yeah, like mentally exhausting. To go to like the funnest time in your life is a gigantic change, and it felt so good. Like nothing felt better than to be there and meet amazing people, have great experiences, and just dive my head off, which is just, I found that, you know, it was a true passion for me. I knew I loved diving, obviously, since I'm a fish guy, but just being in the environment and, you know, getting one of the coolest jobs, you know, that I think I could ever have, besides, you know, when we're going to be running Ishake, and because that's the dream spot, obviously. Yep. So yeah, Utila was amazing. It treated me so well. Yeah, now I have free diving for life there since I got my dive master and instructor license. Little advertisement: free diving for life if you get either your dive master or instructor certification there. So yeah, it's a very good program. They have amazing opportunities there, and I love everyone in that shop. Some of them I love with all my heart. Some others can fucking eat it. But yeah, amazing 3 months, funnest I've ever had. And then I went home for another 5 months, and then saved up money, and then I came over here. So
I spent the whole 8 months in Hilo, and I loved it. It was definitely, it turned into my favorite spot I've lived, which is crazy because I was only there for a year and a few months. But yeah, I think once we both settled in to whatever we were doing, whether it was for you in Honduras or me in Hilo, I think we both found ourselves and figured out how to make the Ishake dream a reality a lot better. Mm-hmm. And I think the changes that happened in Hilo and in Honduras for both of us were awesome and noticeable. And yeah, I could not be happier right now in Australia.
Yeah, neither could I. So yeah, we've been here a week. One of our first stops was Hartley's.
We need to go back and talk about that stupid flight. That 15 to get here from Colorado. It was 26 hours of travel. It was a 2.5-hour flight to San Francisco, and then a 15-hour flight from San Francisco to Sydney. And I kept that boarding pass. I'm going to keep it forever because I think it's awesome. And I slept 12 hours on that flight. I had an amazing, it was awful sleep, but I slept for most of it. Peyton slept 3 hours.
If that.
And just by the end of it, it was just excruciating. And then we had to run. We had to sprint from that all around the airport in Sydney, trying to figure out how to get our bags checked and do all this stuff so we could come to Cairns. And then we had another 2-hour flight. But that flight was bearable because the drinking age in Australia is 18. And I had my first taste of alcohol ever.
Legally?
Just kidding.
I was going to say, you're not leaving it off at that, right? I just admitted to doing mass amounts of drugs. You're really not going to say you haven't had a sip of alcohol, Jason.
No, I've been a good child. Yeah, so you can have beers on flights when you're 18. I'm 19, so yeah, it made that flight a little easier. But by the end of it, we were just ready to be here, and driving on the left side of the road is crazy.
We haven't even done it yet.
I have. And
that's right.
Dad, if you're watching this, I made fun of you a lot because it was hilarious. And I made it seem like it wasn't that crazy, but it's crazy and it's stressful. So that was a learning curve. But the environment in Cairns is, like, the climate is just like Hilo, and it's ridiculous. They just have more mountains and it's a little bigger.
Mm-hmm. Same with Utah.
Yeah. And so it's just a gorgeous climate, and we settled in super nicely after the flight. I think the next day after that we went to Hartley's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, little side note for the viewers. Josh, Jason's dad, came out with us for this first week just because, you know, to get out of the house a little bit, make sure we got settled, because it does always feel nice.
Yeah.
That a parent comes along when we move to these new places. So
even though you want to be an adult, it is nice to have an actual adult.
Yeah, because that whole, like, bag scenario would have been
a
pain in the ass.
Yeah, that was.
So yeah, we lost our bags for the first 2 days because
I was the only one that got one of our carry-ons, so 5 of our 6 bags in total were just gone.
Yeah, and one of these bags had all my scuba gear in it, which is literally like a $1,500 bag. So, like, I wasn't gonna lose that. That already happened once with United, so then I got a full refund, bought new gear, and then they gave it back. They found the bag and then gave it back like 3 months later, so now I have 2 sets of scuba gear. So kind of a win-win scenario, but I didn't want to buy a whole nother set again and go through all that with
United.
Jetstar.
Yeah, Jetstar.
Yeah. So yeah, lost our bags because we didn't know we had to pick them up in Sydney because United told them that our bags would be meeting up with us in Cairns. So yeah, I was wearing the same pair of clothes for two and a half days. And yeah, I pretty much threw away those underwear because my balls were going through it. But yeah, that's gross. So yeah, Josh came here with us for the first week. He was able to figure out all that bag stuff, which he's an absolute saint for. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Josh.
That was a huge blessing.
Yeah, seriously. And then he rented a car, so we had transportation for this first week, so we were able to go places such as Hartley's, which was our first stop, which is an hour north of Cairns. 40 minutes, yeah. And tell them about Hartley's, your new place.
Yeah, that was kind of the moment when I knew I'd love it here. Because, I mean, Australia is awesome, and I was still, like, a little nervous, I guess. Even that first night, it's just a new environment. It's a lot of stress.
It's a new continent.
Yeah, it's a big change, and so there's always that worry in the back of your head of not being able to find out what you're going to do or find a way to live. But we went to this farm, and we started off with a snake show, which was awesome, and just super educational. And then we walked around, and we went on this boat to feed crocodiles. We didn't feed them. The dude drove the boat and fed these huge saltwater crocodiles that they just have, and that was awesome. And so we were just there like, how could this get better? And then we went and we watched them do another feeding of saltwater crocodiles, and then we were going to get to feed freshwater crocodiles. And I talked to the dude who was feeding the saltwater crocodiles. His name is Eden. And he basically said, in order to get a job here, you need to start at the bottom and start volunteering. And we just talked for a while and asked me about my experience a little bit. And it was just a good conversation, and he sounded super like, he wasn't saying you'll get this volunteer position, but he was basically saying you should apply for this volunteer position, you'd be great, without like saying that, because he can't say it, he's not the hiring dude. And so I just got even more excited, and he said, I mean, work from the bottom and work your way up, and I'd love to see you here. And so after that, we went and fed freshwater crocodiles, which was awesome. The pop from a crocodile mouth, even a small freshwater crocodile, is ridiculous. And it sounds so cool, just the power of their jaws snapping down. But then we went and we held koalas. And
cuddled
Yeah.
They don't say hold or grab or anything like that. They're like, you're gonna cuddle a koala.
Yeah.
That I was all over that. So.
Yeah. And.
Hi, little baby.
That was awesome. And we took a picture of my dad and sent it to my family, and they all said he looks happier than the day all the children were born. And I agree.
He looks happier in that photo. Like, I swear, we saw the two pictures right by each other, and sure enough, he looks so much happier. Like, the grin is bigger. It's so
a koala.
amazing.
Yeah. So
Wouldn't you be too, though? Like, how many people could hold a koala versus
I know,
a
that
newborn,
was,
you know?
Unless you live here, and then it seems kind of normal.
Yeah. Because then you can just go to Hartley's and pay $30 for it. But yeah, that was definitely a flex on all of our Americans. Mm-hmm. That was like the first picture they got from all of us.
Yeah.
They were like, so we're in Australia.
Yeah. And then after that, we went and hung out with kangaroos and just sat next and pet kangaroos. Sorry, he has strep, so he's going to be annoyingly coughy this entire thing. But it's fine. We went and hung out with kangaroos, which was awesome. And then we went and saw the snake exhibit, and I saw the inland taipan, which is the most venomous land snake. I've never ever seen one, and it was gorgeous. And then I left kind of with this idea of this is where I belong. I need to do this. So that night I sent an email to the volunteer staff, kind of telling them I was interested, and they replied back the next day and said, yeah, you're in. You can be a volunteer. We don't have any availability in the reptile section yet, but you can start with the birds and koalas and work your way up. And so, waiting to get a car, and then I will be volunteering at this amazing wildlife sanctuary and getting to work with animals. And they said kind of like, you just kind of start with the birds and mammals and koalas, kind of like it was a bad thing, but even that is a win. It's koalas. I get to hang out with koalas every day.
Yeah.
Until I get to work with crocodiles. So yeah, that was awesome. What happened after that? It was the reef.
Yeah. So yeah, then we just did a little bit more sightseeing. Checked out a couple shops, walked down the pier. And then we signed up for 2 days and a night of diving. So basically, if you don't know how the diving system works here in Cairns, the Great Barrier Reef is, it's pretty far out. It's not right there not right there on the coast as a lot of your other, diving locations. At least everyone that I've been to, they're like right there. You hop on the boat with all your gear and stuff like that, and then it's maybe like minimum 5-minute drive or something like that. Max 45 minutes. But all the gear is on the boat. But they just don't have that here. So, because the Great Barrier Reef is a solid hour of a boat drive out. So, basically every single dive shop has their liveaboard. If you don't know what a liveaboard is, it's a really, really, really big diving boat. And they have all their liveaboards parked on the reef at these buoys. And the liveaboards just stay there, and they just get refilled with stuff like that from the boats that drive out. So, we just thought it was, because Josh didn't only just want to do, just a day of diving and then, go back another day. Because then that's just more money. So we just scheduled it for 2 days and a night, which was a total of, how many dives?
6.
6 dives. I got a lot of those, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably one of the most insane experiences I've ever had in my life. Some places that I've dove before. Certified in Denver, obviously. Went out to Cozumel. Did Kona-side, Hawaii. Did the Florida Keys for a little bit, and then we did Monterey Bay. And then obviously Utila. So yeah. And absolutely none of those places, even Cozumel, which was the best diving, I think, it's on one of the top 5 places to dive in the world, and yeah, the Great Barrier Reef just smacked that thing in the face.
It was gorgeous.
There was just nothing like that. And it's so nice that it is an hour and a half out, because they're not getting messed up by all the stuff that's going on, with a lot of other places such as
All right, this is gonna look different. My GoPro apparently got too hot. It is super hot here, so we might just start shooting with this phone because I don't know if a GoPro should be
My phone's already overheated like twice,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. So it just shit gets hot here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Josh was able to, you know, he held out his hand. He was able to touch the octopus too and stuff like that. So that was really cool. Jason unfortunately didn't. I think I might have scared it away because Jason was like really far from it, and I was like, no, you gotta get in there. So I grabbed his hand, I pulled him closer, and then he like retreated back into the crevice. So.
But I still got to see an octopus, and it was awesome. The reefs here are just so alive.
Yeah.
If you go to our animal YouTube channel, maybe on Monday, there'll be a video about it.
Yeah, we'll have some clippings and stuff like that. And I'm eventually going to get an underwater camera, so Jason's not going to be on the reefs. He'll be out every now and then, but I'm going to be a dive instructor out here. I don't know if I told you guys that, but so I'm currently in the process of looking for a job. You guys will, you know,
get updated on that.
Yeah, you guys will absolutely, you know, let known because, you know, I'll be pushing out a lot more fish content and stuff like that rather than just the streams and creeks that we have here in Cairns.
Which are still awesome. They have cichlids going through their little streams.
Yeah, which is insane. Like they're little like gutter streams. Like not even they're wild. Like their gutters have like full blown cichlids and stuff like that. So very, very interested to see the wildlife that's going on with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, diving was crazy. Great Barrier Reef lives up to its name. That shit's great.
Yeah, you gotta see it.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
And then over the couple days after that, we just did a lot of boring adult stuff and set up new phone numbers and bank accounts.
Online providers. And
yeah, all this stupid stuff. Do you mind?
Not anymore.
Yeah, and then last night we went out and had this amazing dinner. I had the best steak I've ever had. It was like my dad's going away thing. And I guess Peyton's thank you for instructing us dinner thing. Had an amazing steak, came back, started watching this movie, and then my dad was like, I'm just going to check when my flight leaves. We originally thought his flight left at 10 a.m., so we were going to get coffee in the morning, and then he'd go to the airport, and I'd be alone in Australia as an adult. But thankfully at midnight he checked and his flight actually leaves at 6 a.m. So he had to be at the airport at 4 a.m. And so we ended up I pulled an all-nighter, packed up, and then he left this morning. Sorry, there's a mosquito. These mosquitoes love me and I hate it.
Yeah, they're sucking on Jason, bro. Leave me alone.
It's the worst.
How did he survive that? I squashed him. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes are built different in Australia.
Yeah, they're smaller than Alaska mosquitoes, but they're agile. But yeah, now we've been using this day to kind of recover from a busy week. A good week, a busy week, and we'll catch them eventually. But yeah, in this house we're staying in, geckos just run on the walls. That just came to me. They run all over the walls and they chirp. They're called morning geckos, and they chirp. And I've never heard a gecko chirp like this, and it's been awesome to just hear because they'll just chirp and then start chasing each other around. Yeah, I led with that. But.
Yeah. No, the wildlife here is crazy. They have flying foxes around here. Cockatoos everywhere. Like, we saw this like one tree that had more like cockatoos than leaves.
It was crazy.
It was ridiculous.
The tree looked white because of cockatoos. And every night, probably a few hundred bats fly just around Hilo, and these are the size. I saw one when my dad was leaving. It was the size of a small dog. They just fly around here, these huge bats. Yeah, it's been cool to watch. As someone who likes animals, it would be my mom's worst nightmare, and I don't think she'll ever come visit me, but it's awesome here.
Yeah. She'll visit eventually, especially if we set up here.
Yeah.
So yeah, as both animal influencers, like we love it here. This is everything that I think we wanted. It's everything we wanted from Hilo, that's for sure, animal wise. And you know, it's just to finally find that spot where we are both just absolutely in love with and just encapsulated by everything we see. You know, it's really inspiring, and it feels good after a year and a half of trying. So, so we don't know if we'll set up shop here. I also don't think we ran them through what Ishake even is.
No, okay. Ishake. Ishake is gonna. It's always been the envision to have a fish and reptile shop as the start of it, and make it the best fish and reptile shop there is. I'm saying a lot. My dad asked me this week what would make our shop different than other fish shops to the normal person. So we got to think through that, and it kind of came down to just the care and quality of the animals, and education being a forefront. And so we want to open a fish and reptile shop called Ishake, and then hopefully it would just grow and grow into an animal sanctuary and an aquarium, and I mean, there's no limits to how big. It could be the next Steve Irwin Zoo. It's just working with animals and educating the general public about the importance of animals that a lot of people fear and misunderstand is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Exciting. So they need one here. I don't know if it's the best spot to do it, but
yeah, maybe not Cairns, but like Australia definitely seems like a really good spot for it. But I also think a place like Colorado is really good for it because that's a place that's just deprived of animal life.
Yeah.
But it's going to make exports and stuff like that a lot more difficult, and yeah, like we're not going to be able to sell like as many like venomous animals and.
There's challenges to both.
Yeah. There's challenges with everywhere we're figuring out. So, yeah, basically the reason that we want to travel is we just want to figure out where it seems like the best, where animals are available, which is what Hilo wasn't. There's a lot of like lizard laws actually, so that just didn't work out. So we'll probably maybe have like a small branch over there one day, but so yeah, just like Colorado is just whack. We don't care for it. And yeah, Uttila, definitely not. There's more crime than water there, so yeah, I'm scared for my fish. But so yeah, we're just looking where we want to set up shop. We're also just traveling just because we're young, and once we do set up shop, we're not gonna be able to go anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
So get out while we can. Like, yeah, we probably won't be able to move for like 10, 15 years. I mean, maybe take a couple day vacation, but where's the fun in that,
Yeah, and if we're starting Ishake, it's going to be something I'm not going to want to leave either.
Yeah. Yeah, no way. I mean, maybe if I get like extremely stressed out and stuff like that, and need a break like for a couple days, but like Ishake is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Easily, it's the legacy I want to leave behind. It's what I want on my tombstone. Like Peyton.
Ishake James.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I like my middle name, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the dream. That's the hope.
That's the catch-up. What's gonna start out here? Okay, this is the podcast. If you didn't know that by now, if you haven't been paying attention, we're gonna try to do one of these every Saturday. I think is what we said, and then we're also gonna be doing a animal YouTube channel that we're going to try to get going this week. The first video will be posted tonight as just a rundown of what the channel will be, but basically it's just going to be kid-friendly animal content that you can watch with your family. That hopefully will be posted Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. We have about a month planned out of adventures we can go on and just record, and I don't know how it'll turn out, but it's something we've wanted to do, and we're going to give it our all, see if that works out. Along with both of these channels, there's Instagrams and TikToks and Snapchats for following, and I can put those somewhere. I don't know yet. I don't know how we're going to do it yet, but we're figuring it out along the way.
There we are. Yeah, but this is officially the start. Like this podcast, like it's kind of weird that we're starting it off with the podcast. Like this is the first thing that is like going into effect. Like we haven't made like any merch. We haven't even started, like, we started our social media, like, we started the accounts and stuff like that, but nothing's on them. Yeah, we don't have any videos planned, so just bear with us. We are beginning.
We will figure it out.
We are starters at all of this stuff, but we want to entertain you guys, and we want to, show you guys what we're doing, what we're up to, and yeah, I think Jason will agree with me, but like our number one thing with Ishake is education.
Yep.
Like we just care that, because there's so many people that just don't know how to handle fish. Like, people think that it's just such a simple little thing, but there's an entire science behind it. Like, yes, fish have feelings and, they feel pain, definitely. That's also why I want Ishake, is because I want to start up a research facility to prove all these stigmas about fish and, how nimble of a species they are, but have so much behind them. Which is along the lines, I think, for Jason. So,
yeah.
Education is very important to us. More than becoming rich, more than, having the biggest zoo in the world. So it's just literally for you guys to entertain and educate the masses. So we hope that we can be that for you guys, and yeah.
Is that the end of the first episode?
I think so. Thank you
All right.
everyone for watching.
We'll be back next Saturday.
We'll be back next Saturday, hopefully with some more adventures to talk about, some behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. More conversations. This was kind of just a rundown, but we'll have stories and things to talk about.
Yeah, we will. This is really just getting to know us without, us blurting it all out on, a YouTube video or something like that. So, yeah. Thanks for sticking with us.
Boy.
Yeah.